One of the things that really shows the difference between how our folks, I will say, have been cultivated, because again, we know a lot of our strongest have continuously been weeded out. So that leads to a lot of why we have an overall group collective weak consciousness to keep doing a lot of the same foolish shit we do. But right now, when you look at this Charlie Kirk situation, you know, white folks' immediate response was to retaliate, to do some shit, go out and hunt. You know, they wanted blood, and we know a lot of it is clearly being misdirected, as a lot of these groups who are clearly working with the government try to point a lot of their frustrations in our directions, which is a continuation of what Kirk was doing while he was living. So we know a lot of that is bullshit. But I've also been monitoring a lot of younger white people who are like, fuck white people. You know, they see once again that their own people are the most dangerous motherfuckers on this planet. They have been, you know, much of their lives taught that, you know, black people are bad or this people are that. They clearly once again now see they own white brethren and sisterins are some of the most dangerous motherfuckers on this planet. And the difference with them, they're looking to immediately do some shit. Whereas in our communities, we are still trying to come out of this 60-year curse where Malcolm X warned us, stop fucking with the Democrats. And here we are in 2025, still got Negroes advocating for the Democrats. And that's the difference between how they have weakened our consciousness, our intelligence. They put the folks who still act, think, and talk like that in front of us to further influence us. But I will also commend a lot of our younger folks, because they are getting off that plantation and saying fuck that. But yeah, tonight, and what I'm saying is not as a representative of CJAC. You know, I'm speaking as Billion, co-founder of Africatown Coalition. So CJAC is not, this is a disclaimer, CJAC is not responsible for anything I'm saying. I'm just sharing that they are doing an IG Live tonight. Marcus Garvey called out the so-called black elite in all fields. You know, he basically said because these folks ultimately are looking to assimilate into this white society, into these white institutions, they can't be trusted. And again, I found some comparisons with what Malcolm was saying about, what's that, about 40 years after the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. So in totality, from Garvey till now, it's been over 100 years, y'all. We've been stuck in this situation where they have used the black elite against us to lead us in a direction to where last year they blocked reparations, took a whole year, wasted that. Now this year, they've wasted another whole year with this so-called road to repair, is what they were calling it at first. But now that has made it out of the California state legislature. They're now once again reattaching the word reparations to this bullshit. Not necessarily along the lines of what I just shared, but CJAC will be going into that later tonight, again from 8 to 8:30. And also this Saturday, our sister Brandy and her team has organized a night market. I was just looking at the weather, so I'm not sure what the weather will be like Saturday, but you know, if it's light rain, you know, it will still go on. So we encourage folks who are in and around LA to come out, because again, we need to have more conversations off of these devices. I am seriously being shadow banned right now. You know, the little 3-4 minute videos I make, it takes anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to put up. In addition, I saw one story I made, I think the day before yesterday, and I added the link to my GoFundMe. They completely blocked that shit out. So yeah, again, that's why I'm really saying we have to meet up off of these devices, y'all, because they're giving exposure to the ones who they want to mislead you. You know, that's the art of war. You know, J. Edgar Hoover said it way back. You know, he would give black people their next Messiah. And we clearly see, hey, what's good with you, Brother Malcolm? Top of the morning. Appreciate you too. Another one of our strong warrior brothers from the village. But yeah, these clowns are leading us into non-existence, y'all. Somebody shared with me a video I actually shared about a month ago and just really emphasized how they were saying 92% of black communities have been wiped out, you know, through one means or another, and it has been largely through the misleadership and dealings of these Negroes who are tied into the Democratic Party. And again, that's what I was saying. These white folks now are talking about immediate change. They're getting out. They're looking to do some shit. And it's not just protests. You know, they are hunting people down. And again, that's something, a conversation that's really been had in our communities right now. How do we really deal with these sellout motherfuckers? You know, some folks have suggested they're really removing their power. You know, they missed one of the most important lines that Kendrick told Drake last year is, hey, Drake, they're not slow. So while these folks continue to use their platforms basically to make themselves look foolish, because even a lot of the folks who are paying attention to them, who do congregate with them, no, they full of shit. You know, this is what several folks are telling me now about a lot of these different organizations and folks who over the past 5 to 10 years have, you know, positioned themselves to be champions. But again, over this summer, just really reevaluating a lot of shit that is happening. A lot of these folks come from that same black elitist bullshit. So the thing is now, what do we do? You know, white folks are advocating and pushing for violence. And we know most definitely we need to prepare ourselves and be vigilant for that, because they bleed too. Bottom line. You know, white people bleed too, or whoever the fuck, you know, has it in their mind to come fuck with us, they bleed too. And that's the absolute law of war that we gotta remember. Instead of being fearful and all that shit, is to prepare ourselves to deal with whatever, in whatever form it comes, and reciprocate to the best of our abilities, whatever they bring in. But yeah, with our own, some folks believe they are simply dismissing themselves. But I know with this election in November, they're pushing for Prop 50. I'm really asking for folks, on one end, can we rely on people who have been voting Democrat to do the responsible thing and not vote in support of that shit? Or do we have to mobilize enough numbers of us who normally don't fuck with this voting shit to go in there and shoot down this Prop 50? And again, it's not so much to get caught up in white politics, because that's all the redistricting is. It's not shit that's being done for our favor, but it's to mobilize political power amongst ourselves to leverage and show the stronghold in this state and a lot of our cities, the Democrats, is there's many more of us who have abstained from participating in that shit, that when mobilized have way more power than the few who have been keeping up this status quo. And even those who have been speaking in opposition, you know, like I've been saying, to the white supremacist status quo, they have most definitely pushed to maintain a black elitist status quo within that shit.